Okay, it is time. Ketramose, the New Dawn, is out. The most exciting card from Aether Drift. We've got a bunch of other stuff that I think is cool and interesting to get to. The more I think about Ketramose, the more we talk about it, the more I think this card has the potential to be Modern's latest broken 3-mana card advantage engine. Usually these cards are Simic. We've had Uro, we've had Oko, we've had Nadu. Also had Luris, which I never really think of as an Orzhov 3-drop, but I guess it counts. But we now have Ketramose, the New Dawn. Menace, lifelink, indestructible, 4/4 for 3 mana. Can't attack or block unless there are 7 or more cards in exile, but this also counts opponent's exile zones too, so looking at you, Devourer of Destinies. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from graveyards enter the battlefield during your turn, so only your turn, draw a card, lose a life. Now, what's awesome about Ketramose, besides being a gigantic lifelinking, recurring card advantage engine, is that it just happens to work with some of the best cards in the modern format that are already seeing play. Ephemerate, Boggart Trawler, Solitude, Psychic Frogs, Emperor of Bones, Phelia, Flickerwisp. All these cards just current modern staples. Like I could not. It's so crazy to me that for the first time, maybe in Modern's history, Black-White midrange is one of the best decks, and then they print a crazy 3-mana black card. There's going to be a lot of ways to build with Ketramose. You can be more combo focused with stuff like Bag of Holding. You can be Black-White midrange. You can be Esper midrange. I have a Mardu build and Esper build built at the moment. I'm of the impression that Ketramose is so good with Psychic Frog that you really want to pair these two cards together. Not only the Psychic Frog have a lot of recurring card draw with Ketramose, you get to turn those cards into counters on the Frog, and Psychic Frog is one of the best ways to make Ketramose an active attacking creature really, really quickly. And also Psychic Frog is just one of the best cards in the format already, and so, play good cards with good cards. I don't know if we're gonna get to this Mardu build today. I'm just gonna go and show it off. More of like a Faithless Looting, Unearthed Shell, trying to pair it with Flage instead of Psychic Frogs. Also, you get to draw a card when you flashback Looting when Ketramose is in play. You get a lot of cards in the graveyard really quickly with some draws with Overlord and Looting. Play Graveyard Trespasser, which has also been a card I've been really liking. We almost top 8 of the challenge with this card in the mono blacklist recently. So I've got Esper and Mardu. Again, I think we're starting with Esper today. I wanna start with the 3-color builds, partially because I feel like the 2-color builds are going to be really popular immediately. I want to show some alternative options, and also I think that the people who've been grinding the just normal black-white list, I'll let them sort of update those builds. But I think the blue splash here is pretty nice. Spell Snare is also super well positioned card at the moment. Very, very much helps with the Breach matchup specifically, but it's also good against against most of the rest of the format. Even Eldrazi, it's pretty good, countering Rumbles, countering Talismans. Have to reset, unfortunately. Let's go to Mulligan the 7. The classic 1-0 scoop-de-doop. All right, let's keep this put back second push. What are the Drannith Magistrates for? The most popular deck in the format, the deck to beat in the format, Underworld Breach. We already have one of these, so despite being a little scared of a discard or counterspell, let's discard it. Turn 1 Delta. So I was going to get a Hallowed Fountain, but drawing this Godless Shrine, I think I can maybe just get Basic Island. Oh, right, no Basic Island in the shell. I have a Swamp. Yeah, I just Plains Swamp. Which is maybe do want the island. Still a little early on the mana base. Let's grab a Hallowed Fountain for now. We've been snared. Preordained. So now no counter spell up here. Ketramose very likely to resolve. And then the Boggart Trawler can dump. Oh, sorry. Spam risk. Let me turn. The Trawler can put probably 4 cards in exile here. Grixis. Could this be Grixis Breach somehow? Great news. Ketramose is going to be online this turn. I get to go Fatal Push the Frog, Boggart Trawler, exile their graveyard, draw a card, attack. My opponent's got to stop in my draw step. Force of Negation. Okay. Interesting. They pitched a Force. We'll see if this Trawler resolves. All right, your graveyard is exiled. I get to draw a card. And then my opponent can discard 3 of their 4 cards if they don't want to take 4. Oh, sorry, this is Menace, right? New cards, new cards. Now, next turn, I'm way more likely to impending the Overlord instead of casted, so I can get back Frog and start to do the Frog Ketramose stuff. That guy from F&M, thank you for the 35 months. I hope you're doing well today. Ketramose immediately shutting down Grixis mid-range. Let's go! All right. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Let's get into game 2. My opponent's playing probably Grixis mid-range. They could be Grixis Breach. They could be Grixis Reanimator. We do have some main deck graveyard hate with the Emperor of Bones Trawler. We have the main deck Snares. I don't think we need to bring in the Grafdigger's Cage. I think we can probably just like slot in like 1 Skyclave for 1 Flickerwisp and click the submit button here. The guy from F&M, thank you for 35 months. And Zook Norris with the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you guys. Should you buy it now or wait? Well, it's looked so far. We played 2 grindy matchups. We did have to concede because the league was entered a little incorrectly. But Ketramose has stomped 2 fair games, but it's very early, very early. I do think Ketramose is really, really strong, and there's a lot of ways you can build it. I know it's not the subject of this deck. What do you think of the Last Ride, New Death Shadow Artifact, a singleton fetch target for Urza Saga midrange decks? You cannot fetch the Last Ride with Urza Saga. It has a casting cost of black, not a casting cost of 1 generic or 0 generic. I do like that card. It's a card I definitely want to cast. And you can find my thoughts on that card and every card from Aether Drift on my YouTube channel. Or not every card, but every card that I think is worth talking about. Dothi works with Ketramose. So Dothi only works with Ketramose if they put a card in their graveyard on your turn. Ketramose only triggers on your turn. Thanks again, Black Ops Noah for the 15. No Witch Enchanter. Yeah, I decided to not play Witch Enchanter in my Psychic Frog deck. I thought that it was a good amount of tension having the land that only enters on tap and taps for white. We're also a Fatal Push Spell Snare deck, so like there's a little bit of extra tension there. Conversely, Boggart Trawler, like you saw last game, is an MDFC that can exile stuff to trigger Ketramose. It can exile a lot of stuff to enable Ketramose to be online really quickly, like you saw last game. So I maybe even want to play, and that card also casts Psychic Frog and Push. So I maybe would even want to play another copy of that one. Pretty interesting Surveil choice here. We already have the Archive in our hand. I guess we're going to grab a Backstreet. After all, what's wrong with taking the Backstreets? 3rd land. Seems okay. I think okay enough to keep. So I think I'm okay to impending the Overlord if they have Counterspell. It's not the worst trade ever. And we can also set up to Emperor of Bones back the Overlord if it does get countered. Now, good news, the Overlord resolves. Bad news, we don't hit a creature. That's okay. Somehow I knew this was going to be the card they cast. You skip Portland? Yes, I was on a quest of romance. As it was me and Esther's anniversary and her birthday. And I also don't really play RCQs anymore. So, nice little combo. A quest for romance. You were there.
Was I? Is there sweetener?
No, there's no sweetener in here.
Why would you offer me this?
Well, it's okay. Romance rescinded. Another nice part about playing Spell Snares is being able to snare the orbs that are starting to become kind of popular. Maybe we can surveil something into the yard for the Emperor to get. No, just a Fatal Push. I'm going to go ahead and graveyard that. I've got 2 removal spells in my hand. I'm going to pretend like I mistapped so that I can hold up Push Snare here. It's kind of like an obscure little trick, but you like mistap on purpose to and then untap to like represent a card you don't have. And then every time you do that, you just actually draw the card you're representing. People have really forgotten how good Expressive Iteration was. Well, this is not the game to be saying that. it seems like people have forgotten how to build decks with card advantage that you just don't slap 4 rings into. Because it used to be like, for a long time, it's like, I could put a card advantage spell on my deck, but if my opponent resolves a ring, it's just like, I can't, this card is so bad, and like, I should just play rings or ways to find ring myself. And so, I felt like my brain was pretty ring broken for a while. Okay, cruising along here. Windswept Heath, Sacred Foundry, Ragavan. Get an Archive. Snare is okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and graveyard it here. Didn't find a frog or push or anything like that. Okay, never mind. Found a frog. They exile their own copy of Overlord. No, this is sidetracked. Do you want to get better at sealed specifically for RCQs? Do you have any advice for other than getting reps playing? Yeah, this is actually a journey I embarked on not too long ago when I was starting to grind some paper RC. Hold on, let me think about this. I think I'm going to lead on the Ketramose here so I can start. Oh, sorry. Probably shouldn't have played Plains. Okay, double frog next turn. Might be okay. But yeah, I found a lot of players in my area who are very, very good at limited, and I just kind of shut up and spent some time learning from them, and I think I learned a lot, and I feel like I'm pretty good at like sealed used to be, I would say, like my weakest. Oh, they hit their own Ketramose. Sealed used to I feel like be my weakest part of Magic the Gathering, and now I feel like I'm pretty solid at it. Kerberos, 12 months. The years do fly by. Hell yeah. Thank you for your resub, my friend. All right, so they decline to cast Ketramose. They discard Flage, Elegant Parlor. 2 cards in their hand here. They flip a Johnny. So the good news is if they want to protect their Johnny here, they're going to have to double block since this has Menace. If they have a static prison, this is going to be quite the difficult game to win, however. I'm at 8. I've drawn a Phelia, which is not so bad. So draw a card, lose a life. Don't have a second basic swamp to get, so doing this here. Exile the Flage. Draw a card, lose a life. Didn't find a Solitude. So I'm going to be at 7. And they are -1 a Johnny. Interesting choice to not block here. I think I'm happy enough with that. Orange Moose, the Twitch Prime. Not bad. +3 cards, +3 life. Ketramose seemed pretty easy to turn into a attacking and blocking creature so far. Pretty early still. Could be dead this turn. Orange Moose, Twitch Prime, autoclave with the 2. Thank you so much. Plays a Flooded Strand after some thought. Surveils. Concedes! Boros Energy Who? It's all about Ketramose, the New Dawn. That was an insanely early concession. Okay, let's bring in the Wrath of the Skies. Let's bring in the Skyclave. I think I'm just cutting the Wisp in this matchup again. I mean, Wisp is not... It's really good if you curve it into Overlord. I think I want like slightly lower curve overall. Maybe we'll do like 3 Phelia, 2 Wisp. Could also be that Wisp is better than Phelia this matchup. They're also good together. Kind of hard to say. Don't think going Cage, Aven Interrupter, which is mostly for Breach. Although kind of nice, it's a bit more versatile. All right, let's get in there. They probably should have blocked, I think. The early concession could be some tilt from realizing they should have blocked. Okay, we've got 23 lands in our deck. We're on the draw with a Shadowy Backstreet. I think I got a mulligan this one, despite really wanting to keep hands with Ketramose and keep hands with Wrath of the Skies. Well, this hand has Wrath of the Skies. I don't like it, but, You know, Clothis or Ketramose gave us Surveil lands, and we're going to use them, damn it. Yeah, they should have cast their own Ketramose there. They do have, like, a lot of ways to trigger it. Like, Ragavan triggers it. There's Ragavan. Do you think Ketramose with Breach might have legs? Maybe. I would be certainly open to that idea. I think, like, this is the thing about Ketramose that's so exciting. The card is ridiculous. Like, the text on the card is crazy, and you have to jump through hoops for it, but like it works with, like, it feels like it works with almost every big modern staple. It's just actually ridiculous how this card seems to work with every exciting modern staple. Okay, remember the Ragavan here. Just keep that on top. The hoops are fairly small. The fact that it's just 7 exile, yours or theirs is barely a hoop. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a hoop. I agree it's not that hard to get through. I mean, you also have to go through the hoops of being able to exile stuff. But I don't know. This card, I'm really excited about Ketramose. I'm a Ketramose truther. I'm going to go ahead and snare this, because I think we're untapping and wrathing. All right. Okay, you know, this is what happens when you keep a 5-lander on the mulligan, but seems like a good time to cast the Wrath of Skies. Should I consider some for my black-white deck, even if I don't planning adding blue cards to my collection? Should you consider Ketramose the New Dawn for your black-white deck? I think so. I think I would consider it. Please, this is why you come to twitch.tv/aspiringspike for amazing. Whoa, they use the Thraben Charm there? Thraben Charm just actively helps me here. This actually makes it to where Ketramose is just a creature now. Thank you, opponent, for casting this Thraben Charm. Thank you for supporting the stream. In fact, you know, I'm starting with Esper because I think Frog and its synergy or something I really want to explore. It could be the case that Mardu Ketramose is the best. There's some stuff going on with Abzan, the fact that Ketramose works with Relic, Free Strider, look out. I tried building that as an Emeria deck. I got kind of stuck. Black-white is, I think, going to be the most common Ketramose shell, and, you know, this is certainly a good place to start. Okay, gonna not crack this fetch so I could revolt, kill like a Ranger Captain, which I've been seeing some lately. Guess technically Flage. But I'm not doing anything. There's a Flage. Yeah, there's like the dredge angle, there's some bag of holding stuff. There's a lot going on with Ketramose. Draw Overlord now. Yeah, a lot of good draws, a lot of good top decks. Toast Recon, take with 7 months. Welcome back. Best draws Ketramose, I think. Life gain pretty big here. Solitude be good. Overlord good. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to play Ketramose. I'm going to grab another basic plains. Oh, wait. Why did I think I had a second basic plains? All right, that's on me. I think I got confused with the Mardu build, which just have a second basic plains. So I can Skyclave this, or I could push this now. Seems to me like I'm just going to Fatal Push. Try not to die. Yeah, I Monumental Hinge is kind of getting there, I agree. All right, Johnny. Static Prison. 3 cards in their hand over there. Could have another Static Prison. So I'm 1 mana short of Ketramose plus Skyclave plus Fatal Push if I wanted to play this untapped Hallowed Fountain, which it doesn't really seem like I can afford to do. So I think we're just going to go Ketramose Skyclave here. If they have Discharge and they discharge their cat in response and then they escape Flage, activated Johnny, that's exactly lethal. So kind of lose to that, and we'll lose to that based on my poor sequencing. Just too excited. All right, dead on board to the Flage plus a Johnny. Just gonna go to game 2 real quick, or game 3. They made some mistakes. I made mistakes, so this is just good testing. Also, kind of a tough mulligan there. Escaping Flage actively enables Ketramose and draws a card. Yes, I have a Mardu build with that in mind already, ready to go. It's not in the Mox field yet. We'll see how this Esper build goes, but I do have a Mardu build also. All right, definitely keeping this one. Opponent's on a mold to 6. More life gain needed. I don't know. I also punted, so hard to say. We have Solitude. We have we have Ketramose. There are not a lot of good life gain cards. I think I'm leading on basic Swamp here because I can only be able to get blue-white land off this, and so if I need to push turn 1 with the Strand, I won't be able to do that. Yeah, Ketramose having lifelink is a huge part of this card being really crazy. All right, so they lead on a Surveil. All right, so we get a Boggart Trawler. What do you expect to be the good, bad matchups for Esper Marty builds? I don't know. It's early. I'm just not trying to think about that yet. Just trying to test and get some reps under my belt. Trespasser seems good for the God. Yeah, I have Trespasser in the Mardu build right now. I don't have it in the Esper build. Let's get a basic Plains. That's pairing with Kaya or over Super with Ketramose. I mean, that card sucks. I have a hard time imagining playing Kaya over Emperor of Bones or Graveyard Trespasser. They do pretty similar things. All right, digging 2. I have a hard time playing the first Trespasser after maxing out Emperor Bones. Trespasser has this like awesome ward ability. I really recommend Graveyard Trespasser. That card rules. Yo, Fire Destroyer. Ketramose doesn't draw if you Ephemerate him. I believe that it does. We can test at some point, maybe. Yeah, Graveyard Trespasser gains life. It has Ward, discard a card. It's just like such a 3-for-1 against Boros sometimes when you get to exile a Flage. Card is really, really strong. What graveyard cards am I playing? Overlord, I guess. Emperor of Bones. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes Ghost Vacuum is just good in these matchups as to get to level 6. Okay, take that. We will say no to you being able to vacuum up my Overlord, though. How does Ketramose work with Necrodominance? I think you would get to draw 1 card. That would be my guess. All right, so Static Prison on my Frog. They've got 2 cards in their hand. Imagine drawing Wrath Disguise here. I think I'm going to use the push here because I'm going to untap and play Trawler, and I've got enough 2-drops. I want to be able to go Trawler into 2. I know he drew another Solitude. I'm going to be just pretty happy, I think, to get a nice little 2-for-1 off the Trawler. Happy enough to block this Cat Warrior. And interesting choice on the vacuum. I guess that's just correct. Necro prevents the cards from ever going to the graveyard, so Ketramose doesn't trigger. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's Bag of Holding, which is a discard outlet with Ketramose. Definitely something there. Got kind of confusing. Bombardment. 1 card left in their hand over there. Yeah, I was talking about this when we got started. The timing of Ketramose is crazy. It is ridiculous that this card comes to Modern at a time where black-white Flicker is like the best deck in the format for where a black-white mid-range deck is like top 3 modern deck, top 5 maybe. But like for the first time ever, like black-white mid-range is like black-white flicker even is top tier, and they print this crazy like honestly like Oko level 3 drop that just works with all these cards. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, they go down to 0 energy, 2 cards in their hand. Feeling pretty good. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, play the card this turn. Interesting. Yeah, who could have foreseen the metagame looking like this, designing the card? Although Ketramose, it does just seem like too pushed. I don't know. Black-white hasn't been good in ever. Yeah, I mean, there's like black-white hammer. There's been sometimes Abzan's been good. Some, you know, kind of with an asterisk. All right, with them only having 2 energy, I don't think I'm going to be fighting over these static prisons too aggressively. Do you definitely like drawing that? I think the big thing here is to stop them from being able to pop the Ghost Vacuum. Okay, let's not get out of the hand. Ketramose is not Oko level. It's good, but Oko's Oko. It's early. I think there's a really good chance Ketramose is an Oko. You're hearing it here first, maybe. I don't know if anyone said this. Another thing too is when we think about Oko, I think Oko was better in Standard, Pioneer, Legacy than it was in Modern. I think it was definitely broken in Modern. I think of all the formats it ever terrorized, it was the least impactful in Modern. I think there's a sincerely pretty good chance that it ends up being the case that Ketramose is better than Oko. It's early. That might not be the case. It is too early to tell. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but that is how high I rank this card. When I'm calling it an Oko, an Uro, I am being sincere. I'm yeah. This is a card only. Sorry. No. I right clicked to read it. Yeah, so it wouldn't have triggered on the illusion token anyways. Ketramose can't answer opposing permanents. I can't imagine Ketramose being the same tier power level, maybe as good as Uro, not Oko. Well, this is another thing. I think Uro is definitely better than Oko in the context of Modern. Oko better in Pioneer Standard. In the context of Modern, I sincerely think Uro is better than Oko. Oko would just come down and get answered a lot of the times in Modern. It was definitely good. Oko, like, you couldn't protect it with Force of Will back then. There's Force of Negation, I guess, but I don't know. Like this card is it's in this tier. It's in this tier for me. This card is it's Menace, Indestructible, Lifelink, draw 5 cards a turn. That's what this card says. It is insane. Yeah, I think Ketramose would be the opposite of Oko. Like really insane in Modern, not as good in Standard Pioneer. It's a good way to put it. Is it supposed to work like that? Yes, it sees itself get exiled. Do I Solitude Ephemerate here? They'll get to kill my Solitude. Also won't get to draw cards. I think I'm going to do it for mana's sake since I'm just going to be able to do so much next turn. Yeah, I haven't played Cling to Dust. That's obviously also a card that works with Ketramose. Ketramose again. Yeah, it just works with everything. Okay, so we get to Ephemerate the Solitude, and then my opponent kills it, and then we're really, really ahead. You think you can place it as the right? Of Ketramose? Yes, of course. I think it's okay. Obviously, we're learning. I sincerely think you'll probably find it silly that you ever asked that. Is my prediction. Grab a Solitude. I guess if I Solitude the Spyro, they draw a card. There's a good chance I'm just going to Solitude my Overlord at the end of turn. So double blocking to deny lifelink here. Let's return Emperor of Bones. Let's Solitude our Overlord. Gain 5, lose 1, draw a card. Would a Flicker Bombardment to make Solitude do something? I think that line's fine. I think, you know, we also can't really lose this game no matter which line we take, but that could have been a better line. Like, the fact that we're just curb stomping, like, energy is huge deal. How's the deck feel? Pretty dang good. Draw a card. Let's Solitude our own Emperor. Gain 4. Draw a card. Six plus 8 is okay. So this is 15. Draw a card. Ketramose! Ketramose, not close. Does Boros just splash back and pick Ketramose? Yeah, maybe. I do have a Mardu Ketramose build. I'm pretty excited for him. Puts a Molda 6 on the play here. Ketramose might be bonkers. I'd much rather be losing games than playing Asmo with Monument of Endurance. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff I'm excited for sure. I've started to work on the repurposing Bay decks, and I'm getting a little stuck, but we'll see. This one may look familiar. Cool. So they're probably playing the Marvel deck. I mean, this could be a good way to beat Ketramose. So I built their deck. There's nothing I can Fatal Push next turn. So we'll just play this tapped. Maybe playing the Trawler tapped is better. I do kind of imagine game 1 of the Marvel matchup will be difficult. I probably will need to be pretty aggressive with my Psychic Frogs. It's Myco Spawn because it's a cake. Ketramose with Binding. Yeah, I was starting to work on a Binding shell too. There's with Emeria and Freestarter Lookout. That one needs a bit more work. I think I have no doubts Ketramose is really good. I think it's nowhere the card requires support to be busted. It doesn't really win the game on its own. I don't want to be too nitpicky. The phrase "win the game on its own" has like lost all meaning for me. The card that I see most often used wins the game on its own is the Guide of Souls, a card that famously needs you to curve out and do a bunch of stuff for the card to do anything. But the card I see more often, okay, they choose Marvel here, being described as wins the game on its own is always Guide of Souls for some reason. So being a little nitpicky, but just saying that term has just doesn't really have any meaning for me. I think keeping a Solitude for a possible Emrakul is important. So I'm not really responding to what you said, I guess, but that phrase is really, I don't know what it means anymore. I don't know if it ever had anything to mean. So my opponent has a Marvel with enough mana to spend it. I'm glad people are picking up the Marvel deck. I was watching Dingo the other day and he was playing against it. Raise the 52 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Seems like my opponent is choosing to all is dust. That's an answer to Ketramose. Let's go to game 2. Raise the 52 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Shake my head. No, Baleful Mastery. Get out of here. Just go. Grafdigger's Cage also shuts off Aetherworks Marvel. Little tip for you. Sorry, Marvel gamers. I think I'm cutting all of my Solitudes. Keeping the Interrupter. I think we can trim an Ephemerate, trim an Overlord. Drannith too. Well, I don't know. Drannith, it's like... Drannith does also stop it, but we also have Consign. Yeah, maybe we do need... And we have Aven Interrupter. Maybe we do need one more... Maybe we need one more answer. I think let's decide to play Drannith on the draw, not on the play. This card's also like weaker to all his dust. Monkey Butlers, 19 months. Thank you. Welcome back. This Cage turn off Marvel, isn't it cast? Cage says can't cast spells from library, and Marvel casts spells from library. Your opponent's on a mold to 6. Mold to 5. Yeah, Grafdigger's Cage for Aetherworks Marvel. Drannith is something you can Overlord into. Yeah, which is something. That's true. I'm just like a bit worried about playing like the 2-mana 1/3 against the All Is Dust deck, but maybe that's shouldn't be that founded of a concern. All right, so I built their deck. They have Solar Transformer, Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, Rumble. We're probably going to get to Spell Snare something and then untap and go White Orchid Phantom with Ephemerate. What do we need the Grafdigger's Eldrazi deck? They're playing my Aetherworks Marvel build, which is something I have been liking a lot. I would recommend. What's wrong with taking the Backstreets? I don't think we're going to take the Snare here. They do have a lot of basics. Remember to Ephemerate White Orchid Phantom and upkeeps to stop them from being able to use this mana, though. This could stop them from micro-spawning. What about Prismatic Overpush? Obviously, you've considered that. I think it's kind of slow. You could do that. You know, I'll say this is very much draft 1. Very much draft 1. I think they have 6 basic forests. They rumble over K-Command, Stirrings a Tune, bricking on the rumble. That actually happened to me once. Maybe maybe that just happens. Don't think we're going to rebound the Ephemerate here. Just going to go for an Overlord. Grabbing this Flickerwisp. I could upkeep Ephemerate to deny them a mana here. I think let's not do that. I think the Ephemerate with the Wisp can just be a bit too valuable. They rumble again, hitting just an Aether Hub. Why Ephemerate on upkeep? Because the land that they get off White Orchid Phantom enters tapped. So if we Ephemerate on upkeep, they get a tap land. If we do it on our turn, then the land is they can use the mana on their turn. Grabbing Aven Interrupter here. Yeah, I think we're just holding up the Ephemerate. This could be bad if they go like land All Is Dust, I guess. I think they're saying why not do it in draw step. Kozilek's Command. If you do it in draw step and they draw K command, they get to cast it there. Okay, chugging along here. On the draw, I do think I'm going to bring in a Drannith Magistrate. I think this is probably a good number for like just anti-Marvel cards with the 4 Consigns, the 2 Cage, and the Aven Interrupter. You can Flickerwisp next to Overlord to dodge All His Dust. Well, at least to keep the Overlord. Yeah, that seems like an option. Let me cut another Overlord on the draw. Alright, going to keep this hand. Might be able to surveil a creature in the yard for the Emperor of Bones. Opponent kept 7 this time. Rolled to 5 last game. Any Brewers brewing with Aether Spark? I'll work on Aether Spark with Stoneforge Mystic. Ketramose seems really broken, and this is like just definitely the card I need to be prioritizing right now. But we'll get around to it. Ketramose is often 3 mana do nothing TBH. You have not been watching the stream, I don't know. In the same way that Oko is 3 mana do nothing sometimes, Ketramose is 3 mana do nothing. Ah, they abrupt decayed my Oko. They pithy needled my Oko. Soul Hoarder is far too weak. I wouldn't say far too weak, but too weak, yeah. Solar Transformer. 5 energy here. I think I will play the Ketramose over the Phantom plus Ephemerate. Kind of digging for Consign. They exile something here. That's a third card for the Ketramose. They exile an Emrakul, the Promised End. It's an All Is Dust. K-Command. Scry Drawing as the extra mode here. 5 cards on the bottom, wow. Love to draw a Consign. 3, 4, 5. I don't think they have All Is Dust in their hand. Have any Eternal Scourge synergies been mentioned? We haven't talked a lot about Eternal Scourge today, no. Ketramose has been really nuts so far. Kind of overcommitting, but like the frog just does help me dig for one of my 4 consigns. If they've exiled on our turn, we would have got to draw a card. That's a 6 energy here, so they might be able to spin a Marvel. Looks like instead they're casting All Is Dust. Boo. Big top deck. Alright, let's Surveil instead of casting the Trawler. Plays an Eldrazi Temple and passes. We're surveilling. I think we might as well keep White Orchid Phantom. It isn't great, admittedly, but it lets me have something to flicker for value here. 2 years, Convert Man. I think he will come back. Now, Emrakul cost 10 mana for them. So they'll have another basic here. They should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So should be pretty safe. Just kind of just stuck between overcommitting into another All Is Dust or not, I guess. We have one more Surveillant. I think I'm going to not play this Trawler. Nice for them to not have Emrakul. Nice for them to not have K-Command there. That last turn. I'm going to graveyard another copy of Ephemerate. Drew a frog. So the good news is I built their deck. They should have one more basic left. Ketramose plus K-Command and Eldrazi Temple. I think it's going to be kind of tough to build a deck as an Eldrazi deck. I do think it's possible. All right, I am... They should have one more basic in the deck, so I'm going to be upkeep Ephemerating, which might keep them off All Is Dust. I guess it would keep them off All Is Dust even if there is another land in the deck. Yeah, out of basics. Yeah, that is funny, Fig. Let's mulligan. Let's go back on Overlord. Starting to do content via the Boschman. I primarily play Legacy Vintage. You play any Vintage, Legacy, or Primary, just Modern. Very little Legacy or Vintage. I'd say like 95, 99% Modern over here. I used to be like a Legacy main back in like 2014, 2015. Occasionally I'll play a Legacy tournament on stream. I don't know if I've maybe played like one Vintage tournament on stream, but yeah, mostly a Modern gamer. Okay, we should be up against Breach here. Yeah, I think I'm going to be leaving up the Snare this turn for Rumble. Yeah, I did have a foray into Standard this last year because Modern was just so bad for a while. Yeah, let's go ahead and Snare the Rumble off of a Hallowed Fountain. Nice. This matchup, of course, is the primary reason for playing all these snares. I'm going to go ahead and snare that too. Someone Twitter called for Rumble to be banned. Of all the things bad that have happened on Twitter in the last couple of years, that's by far the worst. Okay, they cycle Aether Spellbomb. They correct the Misty Rainforest. Skadretch with the 3. Thank you, welcome back. There's a Tomio. Probably Solitude and Tomio. They got one card in their hand here. Let me see what my next draw is going to be. Another copy of Solitude. Yeah, let's just go ahead and delete Tomio, play a Frog. How's the Mage 3 tier list coming? I was going to work on it last week, and then I went down to Austin instead. And but I'm still trying to have it done by the end of this month is my current goal on that one. It's a really hard video to make because it's like I have like about 4 hours of content to sift through for it. And then like when I was first trying to build the video, I thought I could just react to all of it, and then it just quickly became clear that that wasn't going to be the case. So I really like the video needs to be like for me like 20 minutes ish, and we'll see if I can get it down that far. All right, the last card was a Sink into the Stupor. Probably going to be casting Phelia this turn instead of the Frog. Although now, now we're going to grab Ketramose and cast the Frog. One card in their hand. Uh-oh. I was worried about that. With the double Rumble in the yard here. If they don't hit another 0 drop off this Rumble, they won't be able to play a second Rumble because their Moxes aren't tapping for mana. They play Aether Spellbomb. Shouldn't they have Rumbled into Aether Spellbomb? Am I missing something? Seem to be missing something. I think we caught a punt. I'm going to cast this really quickly, and they're going to let it resolve before bouncing. Maybe didn't cast it quick enough here. Oh, nice. This is just classic, like, new card punt. Gonna always catch these when you're playtesting new cards. Good turn. Could even discard 3 to draw 1. Yeah, I figured I could just do that next turn. Easy peasy. That's game 1. Get to bring in some sideboard cards. So I know these are the cards I want to bring in. As far as bringing cards out, I'm still like a little stuck. I think I don't love Emperor of Bones in this matchup. I think I want to trim a Phelia, trim like 2 Emperors. Trim a couple Wisps. Well, the Wisp is kind of good against Breach if you can get it into play, then Ephemerate it. Kind of narrow. Probably want to go down to like 2 Solitudes. Let's do 2 Solitude, 2 Wisp. 4. No Phantoms. Although Phantoms are kind of good, right? They do only play like 2 basics a lot of the times. Yeah, Ketramose has been ridiculously good so far. Let's try to do the Phantom thing on the play, not the draw. I think let's employ that. The push seems bad to Breach. They have 4 Tamio, 4 Emery, so I think I'd like to have 4 Fatal Push. Most Breaches on 1 basic. I thought they were playing 2. At least like when I played against them, they've been on 2. But it's been a little while since I've like been on the plan. I guess I already ditched down to 1. Okay, so population size 50. Let's call it 52 because we're gonna. No, let's call it 53 because we're drawing before we fetch. Sample size 3. This is a surveil and 2 draws. Successes in population 22, and we need to see 1 land. 80% to find a second land with a Grafdigger's Cage in our hand. I'm gonna keep, and a push for turn 1 Emery. Although then that reduces our chances of seeing land too. Turn 1 Steam Vents. Yeah, gonna be surveilling here. Have I tried Flesh and Blood? What do you think of it in case? I've talked about Flesh and Blood with some friends. I've never played it myself. I think it looks pretty cool. I would be interested in learning it. I came pretty close to like really sitting down and learning it when Modern was really, really bad last year. Ended up doing other stuff instead. All right, that's a land. Smite this man for keeping a 1-lander. Well, I did the math first at least. If they have a counter spell, I feel like I want them to counter the push instead of the cage here. Do we want 4 Ketramose in this deck? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, we want 4. Pitch extra copies to Solitude and draw some cards. So my opponent, if they may not know about the Haywire Might Grafdigger's Cage interaction, but we'll see. I'm kind of surprised that no one's like fallen for this yet. Maybe all the Breach players just cracked and they study really hard. Maybe they want to get something else this turn. But if they can't get Haywire Might, Cage stops it. I won't lie, I'm pretty shocked with 3-0. What has Spike played so far? Resident Ketramose hater. We played against Boros. We played against Grixis Pile, which didn't look that good, and we played against my Marvel build. What's the interaction? They just like if they try to get Haywire Might, they just don't get to get it. They get a Mox Opal. Yeah, in paper, it's I don't know what happens in paper exactly. You're gonna have a judge call for sure, but I would imagine that if you try to get, I think what should happen if you try to get Might and then you say you can't get Might and then you don't get to get anything, but the judge may let you get something else. So they had a snare. So if I play Ketramose and I Ephemerate, these are not cards, so they don't get to go to the graveyard here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and Solitude here. I want to keep the Aven Interrupter as another answer to the Breach. I want to do this main phase to make the Mox Opal worse also. You can't get Might, so you can't select it. A judge should let you pick something else. Okay. Yeah, on Magic Online, you click the Haywire Might, and then nothing happens. It's kind of weird. So they're making a construct, which means I can Ephemerate the construct with the Solitude potentially. No, that's wrong. It's a legal target and can be selected. Yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm. The thing is, I think that a lot of or some judges. Oh, this helps me. More cards in exile. I do think some judges would just let you get it. You know what I mean? I think some judges would let you pick something else, and some judges would say this is what you selected, and then they do an investigation to see if you knew it's like if you know like if everything is on the up and up. So kind of hard to say. How do you evaluate this versus Oculus with Unearth? Wondering if there's yeah, you could build this with Oculus. Oculus and Ketramose have a good amount of synergy. There's I don't know. I don't think the Oculus Unearth decks are super good at the moment. And I like this deck. Right now there are only 2 cards in exile. Next turn we can maybe Flickerwisp the Solitude, exile a creature, draw 2 cards. Notably, Aven Interrupter does not let you draw a card with Ketramose on your opponent's turn because it only triggers on your turn. What's the question? Okay, your opponent, you have a Grafdigger's Cage in play. Opponent triggers Urza Saga Chapter 3. They try to get Haywire Might. What do you do as the judge? Do you let them get something else, or do you make them fail to find and investigate to see if they knew that that's how it worked? So I guess we're gonna try to exile that Thassa's Oracle, huh? Could attack first, and then I think we're gonna play the Godless Shrine untapped so that we could draw into a Spell Snare or Ephemerate. All right, 2 fresh cards. Not the best ones though. Your turn. We can untap with the Aven Interrupter. We're feeling pretty good here. If they have a Disenchant for my Grafdigger's Cage plus a Breach, we can lose. Them casting Grinding Station is certainly inspiring some confidence. I have no idea what they played the Oracle. Yeah, Desperate Scry. Yeah, also they may not have a Jace. At a comp Aria level, Haywire Might is a legal choice for the search. As you can legally find, case with some changing zones, so it stays in the deck. Then I go one step further. Offending players issued a lifetime ban from all Magic formats. Seems harsh, but oh, I could have also Flickerwisp the Bog to let the Ketramose attack this turn. I think why don't we just go ahead and hold up the Aven Interrupter this turn, and then we could try to surveil into another land to. Well, I guess actually let's just surveil main phase, because if we see like a Spell Snare on top, then we can just go ahead and draw some cards. Okay, we can keep that on top, and then we can go Wisp into Bog next turn, draw 2, turn on Ketramose, hold up Aven Interrupter. The Dark Fire will not avail you. I guess we do this now. So that way we get to draw a card. Motto of the deck. I guess doing it now is really bad if they have a wizard and they can kill my interrupter in my cage. Wait, hold on. Oh, you don't get to draw a card from the cards going on the stack. Okay. Sorry about that. So they still kill the cage. Aven Interrupter is statically stopping the Breach combo from working. Cards in exile cost 2 more to cast. Wait, sorry. Duh. Oh, Graveyard's an exile. Graveyard's an exile. I'm like, okay, sorry. I forgot it was Graveyard. I knew it stopped Breach. I knew that part. I did forget to have the text. I forgot why it could do that. But it can do that. Yeah, I think they didn't realize they're being Aven interrupted here. Okay. A very fast 4-0. Oh, no, we're not the first group. We're so close to being the first trophy of the season. Dang it. Have I ever been the first trophy of the season? I think maybe I have. I can't really recall. Usually chatters remember my accomplishments better than I do. Breach again? I feel like I don't usually see Spire of Industry. Hopefully they have a Tamio also. Oh, this is Edgar's build. What's wrong with? Taken. The Backstreets. Spire's now popular for 4-color breach. Yeah, Edgar's build. So I want to Solitude before Overlording, obviously, so I can get one back with the Overlord. Impending. Yeah, not main decking Surgicals, but Surgical does go well with Ketramose. 2 cards in exile at the moment. Get ready to rumble. They hit a Flage, Bobble, Breach, or Grinding Station. Scary. They go for the... They chose Flage? They chose Flage? A little confused. I guess they must have another Breach in their hand. I guess we're cooked. I guess we're not necessarily... No, they seem so unrealistic, but... In theory, like, all of the opals could be deep enough in the deck that they wouldn't be able to make blue-blue. I don't know if that's, like, even actually possible. Seems not very likely. Yeah, I have a Mardu build with Flage. I guess we'll play pretty soon here. Their card's not in multiple 3s. We are good. Well, I don't know if we're good so much as we maybe have a chance to win. We also get to see the deck list, so... Okay, they've accidentally gone to main phase 2 here. They also need Metalcraft. Yeah, but they should be able to get Metalcraft. They should have enough to cast another 0 here. Yeah, they should have. They have plenty. And then there's the Mox Opal. Do you tend to bring in Aven Interrupter against decks with spells? Ask me for Metallic Rebuke. It's mostly for this matchup, Underworld Breach, where it like counters a spell and then also like statically stays in and stops the combo. I may end up bringing it in somewhere else, but it's mostly for this matchup. Can you Solitude their Oracle? I can, but that doesn't stop them from comboing or killing me because they'll still get to win the game. I mean, maybe they mess up, but then I would really never dodge the paid actor comments. Although, hold on. Yeah, they should be able to mill the whole deck. Storm counter there for a Grapeshot in their deck. I'm not sure if that means they have Grapeshot or not. I'm sorry, Flage. Yeah, they're playing the 4-color build. I've already played the top half of the board. I always see you playing the bottom half. Yeah, I'm on the bottom half meta here. There's a Grapeshot. They're playing Grapeshot and Oracle in the main. Very weird. Yeah, how many basics is like definitely really important info. Good call. I see 1 planes. Isn't proposed just draw a card per turn in this deck or some other plan? I mean, it's good with Solitude. It's good with Overlord. It's just kind of good. It also draws with Ketramose. It's just like if you've seen like the black-white mid-range deck that just sees a lot of play in Modern right now, it's already kind of just a popular plan. Oh. So funny enough, I can Solitude them here, but then I die to the Grapeshot. Oh, but then they just milled themselves. Okay. But now we get to see the whole deck. Sabine's Reclamation. Is 4 Ketramose feeling like the right number? Definitely. So down a game against Breach. Let's go in on the White Orchid Phantom plan against them. Gonna bring in the Wrath of the Skies, especially because they're on Portable Hole, Drannith Magistrate, Aven Interrupter. I do think I'm going to cut the Emperors, even though they're playing Flage. I think I may cut the Solitudes. No. 2 Solitude. I want to have Phelia. I guess we're going to cut the Overlords. And like just kind of have the Phantoms replace them on the curve. I feel like the Overlord's just kind of not a card you really want to ever play in this matchup. Good argument against it. They're not on Tommy, maybe cut push. That makes some sense. They'll play 3 Solitudes, 2 push, because they're on Flage. Back with the 1 year, welcome back. Just played you with Marvel, loving the deck. Awesome, yeah, I like the deck a lot too. Glad you're enjoying it. Thanks for the match. Again, Johnson up to 49, appreciate you. Solitude over 1 Wisp. I think that I want the 3 Wisp because I've got the White Orchid Phantoms. Like if I could curve Phantom into Wisp, I just get to Stone Rain them because they're only on 1 basic. So I think I want all the flicker effects in the deck. Okay, on the play. Snap keep. I don't think Consign is great against Breach. I don't think that countering Oracle or Graveshot triggers really works, and countering Grinding Station is not that good. Sometimes you counter like a Saga trigger, but I don't usually like to bring it in. I don't understand the Phantom playing that well. They operate fine on 1/2 lands, right? So, you know, if all you're doing is phantoming them, then it's probably not going to be a victory. But we have a lot of really good cards to stop their combo. We got 3 Spell Snares, we have Drannith Magistrate, we have Aven Interrupter, we have Grafdigger's Cage. We have a lot of ways to stop their combo. And so the land destruction plan is really good to complement the disruption, where you don't just give your opponent infinite time to draw out of this. You are like wrecking their resources that they have. Did I consider a build with discard outlet, Ketramose Bag of Holding for pseudo infinite draw? Is probably too cute. I did consider it. This seems to be like a somewhat popular idea. I don't really think it's something I'm very interested in trying. So if they like consign the Solitude ETB, oh sorry, they don't have Metalcraft. But I'm gonna play the Frog here. Yeah, we have talked some about Sinu. So I don't know. Like the thing with Ketramose is it goes so good with so many good cards that I'm not that interested in trying to pair it with cards like Bag of Holding or Dark Blast yet. Seems like something we could get around to testing though, but not very high on my to test list at the moment. All right, let's hold up the Interrupter here. Let's Surveil. I think I'm graveyarding this. Just in case they portable hole my Frog, I think I just want to draw a card now. Yeah, I guess you could play the Drannith to stop them from replaying the station. I don't think I care too much if they spend 2 mana. So there are 6 cards in exile right now. So Magistrate also stops the Flage escape. Here's the Grinding Station. So I'm going to discard here. I'm going to discard Wrath the Skies. Exile so that Ketramose can... This is an attack for 8. Doesn't seem like I can somehow get surprise lethal here, so let's attack and see what we draw. Oh, what was the commander announcement yesterday? I didn't end up seeing what it was. Anybody know? Opinions of Ketramose Unearth working with Frog. So I have a Mardu Ketramose Unearth build that we're going to play soon. I do think you could play Esper. I think you could play Absent. I think you could play Black-White. You could play Combo. You could play Dredge. You could play Bag of Holding. There's a lot of ways to build it. It's going to take some time to figure it out. Card's pretty busted. So this is, one problem with playtesting pretty busted cards. Okay, they found a portable hole here. So if they have Land Breach, we lose? Yeah, but one thing about testing with busted cards is it can be sometimes hard to... Oh, no, we don't even need the land. Sometimes hard to figure out what the best build is. Bracket descriptions, okay. So can I play my Mana Vault anywhere? Okay, they target Psychic Frog instead, so we're alive. Probably. Depends how many fetches and land tutors. I have an Expedition map in my Magda deck. Dude, the Canadian Highlander people are like, they're just the Mormons of Magic the Gathering. Hi, would you like to learn how to play Canadian Highlander? It's really fun. Everyone just loves Canadian Highlander. I've never met anyone who doesn't love Canadian Highlander. Come play. That's how you'll sound. And I love you. Canadian is pretty fun though. I know. I'm sure Mormonism is great too. I'm just not interested. Get to drink soda. Utah is also beautiful, beautiful state. Like, Utah is kind of like a magical land. I kind of get it. Utah is like Google Utah landscape if y'all aren't familiar. Game 3 on the draw. Might play the 4th Solitude over 2nd Push on the draw. Nah, let's just keep it like this, probably. Or the removal split like this. Is that why the Mormons picked it? I don't know. Maybe. They're also like really, really amped up on soda, I tell you what. Utah is nice. Alaska's magical. Yeah. I would love to go to Alaska. I've never been. Well, probably not going to click the mulligan button. Definitely want Skyclave in my opinion. Could you elaborate? I feel like Skyclave just sucks against them. Like it doesn't do much against Breach, and like it doesn't exile Grinding Station, so like it can like get a Mox Opal or a Tommy or an Emery sometimes, but it's pretty slow, especially on the draw. Will you play the limited spotlight thingy? I don't know. Maybe. Volcanic Armado, 32 months. I have another romance quest this weekend with Valentine's Day coming up. I was thinking of taking Esther to Friday Night Magic. Against the portable holes. I did forget about the portable holes. Yeah. All right, on board. Can't portable hole an Aven Interrupter at least. Ephemerate Ether Breach. Yeah. Maybe I'm too hard on Skyclave. It is definitely better against the portable hole build, which I'm not as used to playing against. They rumble over Breach, Emery, Opal, Heath. They choose a Breach. Not great for me. Ooh, baby, this is how you trophy leagues, brother. That's what it's all about. She's been getting really into Canadian Highlander lately, so maybe we can play that. There's an Urza's Saga. Not great. So they can't escape Flage next turn. If I draw an untapped land, what do we know they have a Breach in their hand, so it's really hard for me to not hold up Aven Interrupter. However, it's really bad for me if my opponent just plays around my obvious Aven Interrupter. I think I gotta. And then I can like run it out end of turn if they don't play anything. Since when does Breach play 4 colors? It's a somewhat common variant of the archetype. All right, snap. Interrupt. Troll them. The problem is if they just have Grinding Station, we lose. And I can troll them next turn. Because they have the bauble that they've left uncracked. Should I have cast Wisp instead? I feel like it's better to get the extra land into play, but I'm not much of a Flickerwisp gamer, if I'm going to be quite honest. Subtle intricacies of this card. Do you flash an Interrupter in response to Breach to make them burn it, but not plot it? I don't know if you can choose to not plot it. Yeah, you have to, if it's on the stack, you have to choose it. It's an interesting thought, though. Another Flage. Don't love that. So their hand is Breach, 2 mystery cards. They also are just not cracking these baubles, which is a big red flag. They cast that Rumble. They mill over Thassa's Oracle, although we saw a Grape Shot earlier. Their hand is Breach mystery card. Here comes Grinding Station. I guess if they have Grinding Station Breach, we're just dead. Wow. Not bad, kid. Not bad. Yeah, 1/1 versus Breach. Flage definitely seems like